Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for May 17th, 2010. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. We had a rally over the last week that pushed up into the 117, 118 area on the upside. And even during our intra-week analysis, we were looking that if the bulls weren't able to overcome those upside targets, that we'd be looking for the market to roll over and come back to retest Friday's trade range. Friday's trade range is now defined by that blue box down there. We did come in and test that on Friday. We probably will start off early in the week with testing in that zone. If we find a good basing period in there, we're not expecting the market to get all the way back down to the previous lows that were made during the flash crash itself. So if we see some good basing there, we could probably end up seeing a multi-week rally come off of a good base in there. But that will probably not start early in the week. We first are going to probably spend a few days finding out where the levels are going to be. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE U.S. Regional Banks Index, which is a symbol JLO. We had, again, another retest along the top side of the 28.5 level with a turnaround reversal. Again, if we see some good support lines coming in anywhere above this 25.50 area on the downside, then we could continue to see much more sideways price action here. We're not seeing anything outright bearish just yet. It would take a move below the 25 level on the downside for us to look for a much bigger picture pullback in the regional banks, but at this stage we're not anticipating it. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. We basically had a very robust counter rally off of that flash crash bottom. But at this stage, again, it's rolling over. We're anticipating there to be some sort of a basing put in somewhere in this 114 area on the downside. Subsequently, if that holds and if the whole market turns up, then we could come back and do some retesting of the upper end of the zones. We're not anticipating an outright correction on the downside, but if there's any accelerated selling, especially below 1100 on the S&P, then the Syndex under those circumstances could probably come back and retest the 1008 to 1010 area on the downside, but we're not looking for that right away. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, just symbol RUF. We continue to see some more relative weakness in the home builders ever since the dramatic reversal off that 12.5 area on the upside. That retracement rally that we saw last week was almost completely given back, as we're almost back down to the 1020 to 1050 area on the downside. If we see some basing here, then that's where we'll see some short-term support lines come in. But if we see a much greater relative weakness in this sector versus everywhere else, and we may continue to see distribution here, we'll be watching how the price action acts in and around this 10.5 area. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM. Very dramatic selling that we saw the other week. We saw the counter rally come in and come all the way back up towards the 108 area into a natural retracement. This is going to be a critical moment because if in fact we roll over here on the natural gas, then we probably can go back to retesting at minimum the 100 level, where we've seen some previous bottoms in February and March. But if the selling accelerates, we could see another proper retest of the 94 to 96 area on the downside. The only way that we would start looking more bullishly on the natural gas index is if we see very early lows this week, and then some sort of an event that creates a move above the 108 level on this. And at that stage, we would start to look at scenarios where a natural gas index can come back towards retesting the upper end of this trade range. But at this stage, we're skeptical of that until we see some positive price action. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. We saw, after such a very dramatic sell-off in the UK, we've now seen a nice little counter rally last week that's still actually relatively weak compared to any other counter rally that we've seen in any other indice. At this stage, with that selling pressure that's coming in here, we could probably see some further basing, but at some juncture here, the oversold euro and the oversold European markets will at some stage start basing, and we'll see counter rallying and short covering coming in. So I wouldn't be looking for anything dramatically bearish here. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.